The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
You, Leo, nobody.
I know that I'm exactly who I was meant to be. I'm a big fish in a small pond. Got my days free and the nights long. I create my own reality. Who I am is fine with me. As famous as I wanna be. Who I am is fine with me. It's who I am.
Hi, everybody. It's Maria from What's the Story with Maria. How's it going? Hi, Leo. How are
Hi,
you?
Maria. Good. How are you doing tonight?
I'm pretty good. Leo is in Idlewild, California. He is manning the ship, so to speak, from there. Looking pretty sexy in that purple light there, Leo. My goodness.
Thank you. A
You
change
really-
from the green. Seasonal change of lights.
Yeah, that's the way it is. You gotta go for it. Now, I also want to say that Jim Bell is our producer and engineer. I don't, at Armed Radio, armeddigitalmedia.com, Armed Radio Global. I don't know if we're going live because I think we're having a few technical difficulties. However, he may pop on. Either way, we will be in podcast in Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. So don't worry about that. Ed Kutu from Blade Salon has joined us. Hi, Eddie Kutu. How are you? I'm sure you're very busy up there in Rocky Hill. And the leaves are probably beautiful. When I drive to Massachusetts, I'm telling you, from New York to Connecticut, the leaves are just stunning. And then they continue on to Massachusetts, and they're prettier and prettier as you go up north. Lori Towers. Hey, Lori Towers. Happy Scorpio season. Lori is a Scorpio, as is Lynn Porter's Genius.
Genius.
And as is Bill Goffey, our friend. We know his birthday is tomorrow. So as soon as Bill Goffey pops on, we will say happy birthday to Bill Goffey. So we do want to welcome our friends that pop on every week and say that we are so happy that you're here. Tonight, our guests are Karen Mack. Karen Mack, if you know anything about New York singers, Karen Mack is an amazing singer. She's been around for, I've known her for, I'm going to say 30 years. She's an incredible singer, also friends with Lynn Portis. And she's a creative on many levels, but she will be joining us, as will Richard Koek. He has been on the show a few times. He's an amazing photographer. He is from Holland. He's of Argentinian descent. He's from Holland, and he captures New York City like no one I've ever seen. So, Leo, I want to bring Leo back on. Leo has you have added a camera angle. You want to tell us about that now or later?
Well, I'm just always playing because we always want to do our best to see what we can up the stakes for, what's the story. And so I added a side boob camera.
That is unbelievable, Leo. You are, and look at also what it says is Leo, accidental assistant, a
stage manager.
Okay, all right.
That's what I said, and you can see that wonderful painting that I have there.
Oh my goodness!
My friend Jason painted that for me for my New York apartment, and it made it all the way to California.
I remember, Leo, when I helped you move that one time, you and I managed to jam everything that you had left in that apartment into my car.
And two kitties.
And they were very well behaved, by the way.
My ladies are very well behaved.
Okay, so actually, you know what, Leo? Let me see what time it is.
We have some time because our Cookie Monster is not in the green room yet.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about should we do our merch nice now?
What do you mean, our merch?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do our merch now while we're waiting for our friends to pop on. Okay. So we have merchandise. We're on it. Leo helped me create these. So our mug is $10. It says, go ahead, keep eating on one side. And it has my much younger version of me on the other side. How nice to wake up with that version of me every morning, right?
As I call it, Maria's mug on a mug. And we did that totally Busby Berkeley style. We did that in total, complete choreography.
We really did. All right. Also, we have our bag, our tote bag, and that is the Go Ahead Keep Eating bag. I love that Leo showed how strong it was by doing that. Rick Khalif has joined us. Hi, Rick. How are you, my friend?
I bet you this could hold a lot of trick-or-treating candy.
Thank you for reminding everybody. It's Halloween week. So we certainly, this is a great trick-or-treat bag. Leo, absolutely. You have kids that are going trick-or-treating. Give them the What's the Story with Maria bag.
A lot of Twix.
That's only $10.
A lot of Snickers. A lot of
to you. Now, also our piece de resistance. Here is our apron. Beautiful. All right, this is $25 worth every penny. Our beautiful blue apron.
It is so durable. You know how many pizzas I've made in this apron?
You know what, Leo? If anybody could put this apron to the test, it's you. It is totally you. So I will say thank you for giving it the test of durability and washing and cooking in it.
I'll tell you the test. It lasted and it fit around me during COVID last year. So yeah.
So I'm sure, and you cooked a lot during COVID, as we all did. We cooked like crazy. Okay, so who is it?
Cookie Monster has arrived.
Oh, she has?
She has arrived.
Okay, so let me see what time it is. Okay, we have a few minutes to bring her in. I'm so happy she's here. Okay, so I just want to do a quick thing. As there's Jackie Fornatel. Hi, Jackie. Let me see. I'm trying to say, I want to make sure I shout out all our friends. Lori's here. Eddie's here. Jackie's here. Rena Crinelli-Berge should be here any second, you know, and she's always, usually just a few seconds she comes in. But I know Karen is pressed for time. So I feel like we should bring Karen in as soon as we can because she is at, we'll have her tell you where she's at, but she's very busy. She's double booked tonight, and I don't want to keep her waiting too long. Leah, we'll do our little tribute perhaps at the end. So, oh my God. You see all these cookies? You would think you were looking at a cookbook, right? You would think you were looking at a restaurant. You would think you were in a bakery. No, these are Karen Mack creations. She is not just, as Leo calls her, the Cookie Monster. She is an incredible singer, and she is my friend, and she is, oh my God, those cookies are to die for. Ladies and gentlemen,
I love you.
I love you more. Put your hands together for Karen Mack. Karen Mack, everybody.
Hi, kids.
Wow, that's incredible. All right, Karen, first of all, tell everybody I know you're busy and you're already somewhere else. You're double booked tonight.
Okay, so first of all, I'm never too busy for you, and you know that. And I love that you asked me to come on tonight. And I am in Midtown Manhattan at Susie Mosher's The Lineup tonight, which happens every Tuesday night at 8:30 at Birdland, downstairs in the theater. It's a fantastic good time, and it's a variety, and I'm actually sort of in an alcove next door. Look, here's a new guest.
I know.
where at least I had a signal. And I'm so grateful to be here. It's so fun. And thank you for spotlighting the cookies, man. It's National Cookie Month, and who doesn't love a cookie? So thanks.
Exactly. But you brought it to my attention when you and the girls were on the show the last time, and you were talking about that. You every single day in October, you cook a different cookie?
I do. And people think I make it up, but it's not made up. It's every day I get up and I make a different cookie. Some days it's a lot of cookies. Some days it's not a lot of cookies, depending. But it's a different cookie every day. And this is my 10th year doing it. And in 10 years, I mean, there's always there's only so many kinds of cookies. So there's always like a doodle, and there's always a crackle cookie. And but in 10 years, I haven't ever really repeated any. So that's fun. And,
so wait a minute. So that's 30 different recipes a year.
Right.
And you've done it for 10 years.
10 years.
300
different cookies.
That's incredible.
Well, it will be I've got another couple of days, but yeah, it's super fun. And it's I hear from so many nice people, like great stories and recipes. And this one here that you just said, that multicolored one with the chocolate frosting kiss, that was a recipe that somebody sent me that lives in Pittsburgh. And there was this department store in Pittsburgh called Kaufman's, and they had a bakery, and they made these cookies, and it's no longer in business, and the people that lived in Pittsburgh and grew up there have these memories of these cookies. And somebody sent it to me and said, would you make one? And so I did. And it's so nice to share those memories with people, in just a fun way. That's not like, I want to sell you something, or will you come to my house and make it? Or, you know what I mean? Like, it's just meant to bring a little levity, and God knows, don't we need it, man, after the last 18 months, right?
I know. Were you a baker as a kid? Were you one of those kids that baked after school?
I really loved it. And it's home ec was like my favorite class. And I didn't really, my mother was legally blind, so we didn't do a lot of baking at home. But I loved home ec, and I loved those kinds of things. And we had a very not traditional family. So those things that seemed like what people on TV did, or what other kinds of families did, that I was totally into it.
That's fantastic. I love that story. I love these little windows into people's childhoods and pasts.
No, me too. And that's what was so fun when I started doing this. I just thought, I had just gotten to this place with social media that I felt like it wasn't social anymore. Like, I felt like everything that I saw was like somebody promoting something or selling something. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but I just felt like there was something missing, like some way to connect with people. And I thought, what can I do that would just be random and fun, and also that I would commit to for not just like a day. Like that it would be like over a course of time. But I never thought that 10 years later I would still be doing it, and that people would be so interested in it. Although my pictures are better now. My pictures are much better. In the beginning, my pictures were horrifyingly bad. Like, the cookies were always good, but the pictures were like, not so
but
good.
I think the quality of pictures has gotten better because we have phone cameras.
For sure. Thanks. Yeah. Thanks, Apple, for sure.
Yeah. Ways to share them and things like that. And I love the story.
You cook such delicious things.
Well, I'm like you. I love to cook. It actually calms me down. I mean, I know a lot of people.
Me too. Absolutely. It's very therapeutic, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people stress out, or everything has to be perfect. Or like I heard this one woman, she shared, because I belong to a lot of cooking pages. Mm-hmm. And she shared that when she makes meatballs, they have to come out even numbers, or she has to start again. Or I was like, oh my God, what?
No, she couldn't come to my house.
No, me neither.
If somebody ever staked me, sorry, I'm gonna drop my phone here. Like, to a bakery, it would be called Almost Pretty. Like most of what I make is like, it's kind of close. It's all right. It's always delicious, but it's not going to win any. It's not the Great British Bake Off
I don't
quality.
know about that.
But that's a good one. Oh, the peanut butter mallow Mars. Yeah, that was a favorite. People like that one.
That's amazing. Now, does your husband love that you bake as well?
He kind of does. Like, I have to say, it's an oddity for sure. And it's nice, sometimes he'll take stuff to work, or I give them to my doorman, or, the girls, we rehearse, those girls we rehearse every week. So I'm very popular. October, I get a lot of people asking me to do things.
Yeah, by the way,
they know that I always have cookies in my bag.
By the way, your doormen are very nice people.
My doormen are nice people. Thank you for the shout out for them. I have to remember, though, that if I get sauce from you in October, which P.S. everybody, you should get sauce. Get the sauce. But I should leave a little bag of cookies for them to trade you when you drop off the sauce.
You know what? We'll have to work something
Friends
out.
take care of friends.
Absolutely. Kenny Holcomb says, 2 women I just love and adore. We love you too, Kenny Holcomb.
Oh, we love you, Kenny.
No, I know that you're busy, and I really appreciate you taking the time. Please thank
Oh, my God. Thanks for asking me, really.
Thanks, Susie Mosher, from both of us, me and Leo. Now, I don't want you to run yet, though, if you have a few minutes left.
No, of course. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Because I heard from my very good friend, Elliot Roth, who is going to be working with you. And he said, I'm working with Karen Mack. She's so talented, blah, blah. I said, wait, you mean my friend Karen Mack? So we were raving about how much we love your voice.
He works with you at Brandy's.
Yes, he does on Saturdays. He fills in for John quite a bit. And he also works on Fridays, but I love Elliot. He's so amazing.
Oh my God, so talented and handsome and fun
and such a jazz sensibility about him, right?
Well, that's how he and I know each other. Like I didn't know him from Piano Bar, and he does do all of that. He plays Wednesdays at Brandy's and fills in on the weekends, which he loves, and teaches, and he's the musical director for the Mama's Boys.
Right,
so he does all those things, but I know him from much further back from his jazz work, from jazz studies, and from being a great songwriter and super musical, and studied with a friend of mine, Peter Eldridge, and just like from those kinds of circles, so very outside of the cabaret piano bar world. And I'm super lucky. He's just
now. So
tell
everybody what you're doing with Elliot, that we can come and see or follow you on.
Sure. That's so nice. So it's very much sort of a new duo kind of project that we're doing. We're doing some writing and learning lots and lots and lots of songs, it seems. And we're going to do 2 sets of dinner music, which basically means that we sing songs while other people eat chicken, and that's good. That's fun, and people enjoy it. So we're going to be at the West Bank, upstairs at the West Bank on November 18th, which is a Thursday from 7 to 9. 2 sets.
Oh my God, Thursdays are my nights
2
off.
sets. It's 2 sets. It's unheard of. The 18th. Yep. And then we're going to be downtown at Pangea, one of my favorite rooms, on December the 9th. Also 2 sets, 8:30 to 10:30. And that's also a Thursday. We try to put them on your nights off so that we know that you're
I appreciate that. Wait, Pangea, when is the Pangea date?
Pangea is December the 9th, which is a Thursday from 8:30 to 10:30. And it's, you know what, listen, it's the dead of winter, but both of these rooms were just incredibly good to all of us that are independent performers and singers and songwriters and producers. And
listen,
really like to support them and keep them open. And Brandy's too.
Right. The dead of winter is when people want to go inside. They don't want to sit outside.
So.
And they want to listen and they want to enjoy. And I personally love when there's food because it's just a whole evening. You don't have to go out to eat and then go to the show. Everything's
for sure. And both of these have great kitchens and really good service, and the bar is stocked. And we're going to bring some surprises. And as I said,
so happy.
I'm so lucky. He's so talented.
He's really so talented, but I got to say, your album, Take That.
Oh, thanks.
Is still, and I have no reason to say this other than I mean it, is still one of my all-time favorite albums that I listen to.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You know what? It's been a minute. Let's put it that way. But I'm super proud of it, and it's been around a long time.
Yeah, so, and it's an amazing.
So it'll be fun to do some of this stuff.
How can people hear that album if they want to?
They can go to my website, to KarenMack.com. And they can certainly get it through the website, or it's on Apple, it's on iTunes and other things, and who knows? Maybe COVID. The one nice thing about the pandemic, I feel it's weird to say that, but it's you have to try to find the blessings where you can find them. Yeah. So one of it really kind of gave everybody a little bit of a timeout, and one of the things that I was able to do during that time was to really connect with people from my jazz background, and Jane Monheit was teaching classes in her kitchen. Like you could interface with anybody, your idols and inspiration. So
thank you for putting that up.
Thank you. That's very nice of you.
Yeah, go and check out KarenMack.com because everything she does is there. Her music, I know you got to go. I don't want to keep you. Are you break a leg? Are you singing tonight? Are you singing?
I'm not. I'm actually sitting in front of the camera, which is not good with as many drinks as I'm going to have tonight. But you know what? I love the people, and Susie's show is so good. So you should have her on your show.
You know what? I want to, but she's doing her show when I'm doing my show.
Oh, yeah.
That's the problem.
One of these days it's going to line up, and
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. She's amazing.
Anyway, she would love you. She would you should come on and do her show too.
But I have my
original
show.
Songs.
I know.
We're going to figure it out.
We're going to figure it out. Anyway, I love you, honey. I know you got to run.
I love you, Maria.
And thank you so much.
So much. Thank you, Leo.
Leo's the best. Thank you, Karen Mack, everybody. Karen Mack. Woohoo! She was so nice to come on because she's there, so she's doubly booked. Let's check in with some of our friends that
I gained 20 pounds just looking at that.
Let me tell you, Karen Mack can bake some cookies. That's all I'm going to say. Oh, my goodness. Jeffrey Campbell, I know you were looking at those cookies because Jeffrey and I have always said that we could never be roommates or we'd be 3,000 pounds. Jeffrey and I tend to like the same type of food. Hello, lots of love from Stephen and Jeffrey. I love you both, Stephen and Jeffrey. As a matter of fact, I'm going to text you after the show because I got something to run by you. Something good, of course, something good. Okay, Jay Rivera. Oh, my God. Could anybody be more handsome than Jay Rivera? I think not. Jay Rivera is our friend, amazing actor and singer and so many things. So, Jackie, how did you? Kenny Holcomb has joined us from Tennessee. We love you. My cousin, Rena Crignali-Berge. Rena, we were afraid to start the show without you, but we had to. So, Rena's here. We can go now. All right. Let me see what we got for time. All right, so I want to do something now. We're going to bring Richard on at 9:30, but I would like to take a time to do a little tribute. I don't know if you've noticed, anybody that does notice these detailed things, I always have lights on in the background, right? I have 3 strings of lights that I always have on. But tonight I have darkened the lights, dimmed the lights because one of our friends that has passed away this week, Peter Scolari. So to many people, to most people, Peter Scolari was someone you saw on television. He was an amazing actor. He was in Bosom Buddies. He was in Newhart, the Newhart Show. He was the dad in Girls, and he was just most recently did a show called Evil, which I haven't seen yet, but I will. But Peter Scolari was someone that I knew and I could call a friend. He was the sweetest. He was as sweet as you would want him to be. I met him. I was on the softball field. I'm going to say maybe around 98, 99, around that. I was playing for Tony and Tina's Wedding in the Broadway Show League. And I was sitting on the bench and waiting to go on and pitch and whatever. And this very sweet man sat next to me. And I knew who he was. I was like, oh, that's that famous actor, Peter Scolari. But he just sat next to me and we started talking. And we realized that we had a lot in common. We were both Italian. And we talked about food, and he's from New Jersey, and he talked about his grandmother and his dad was a lawyer. And I said, wait, what's the law firm? And then I realized that my girlfriend at the time, her grandmother worked for his dad way back when. But I was like, wait, my girlfriend's grandmother worked for your dad. And so it was just incredible. And we had this connection, and he remembered her, and he said, oh, she was so lovely. And anyway, we got to just connect. We took a picture together, and we remembered each other when we would see each other on the field. And he was just the sweetest of guys. As years went on, our paths would cross over and over. Then I was working at Bar Central Trolley and Joe Allen, talking about Joe Allen, Orso, all that. And there was this beautiful, beautiful woman that worked there named Tracy Shame. And she was dating Peter Scolari. And I thought, wow, that is a perfect match. They're perfect for each other. So I got to know him all over again in a completely different way. And he used to pick up Tracy when she worked. And so I would come down from my job to Orso and hang out with their crew. And Peter would just be sitting there. And, when you hear the name and you know famous people, you think of them as famous people. But when you know them in a different light, you get to know them differently. He was the sweetest. He was a gentleman. He was an amazing actor. He loved to share about his craft. He never condescended. He didn't act like, oh, well, I know, I've been there. Let me teach you something about acting. He shared as, you know, everything was equal on equal ground. And I really love that about him. And when he did Magic Bird, which was a play about, the Celtics, it was about Larry Bird and Magic Johnson and their friendship, even though they were on rival teams. He got me a ticket, my sister and I. My sister's a huge Celtics fan. And we went to see him in the show. He was incredible. He played Red Auerbach, and he was amazing. And then after the show, not only did he meet us after the show to take a picture with my sister, he took us out for coffee. He just was like, come on, I'm taking you out. That's the kind of guy he was. And then the Bronx Bombers, which was a play about Yogi Berra. Well, it was a play about a lot of Yankees. And he played Yogi Berra, and his beautiful wife, Tracy Shane, played Mrs. Yogi Berra, Carmen Berra. And it was amazing. I took my friend Catherine Salvio, and he was, just as an actor, he would embody the role. And it was amazing. And then afterwards, he met us again. He was that kind of guy. And so I just wanted to take time because, you know, this show is about creativity. It's about sharing with each other. It's about that we keep going, and it's about the work. It's about the work. And one thing I can tell you about him was it was about the work for him. He loved every role he played. He worked really, really, really hard at it. If he taught me anything, was that things don't come easy in this business. But you should be grateful for everything that comes your way, and that you should enjoy the moment of performance. And so I wanted to share that because he was my friend. He was a beautiful, beautiful person. He was an amazing actor. His wife is just the loveliest human being, and she is tremendously talented. She was in Chicago. She played Roxy many, many times. She's an amazing dancer and a beautiful actress herself. So take a moment this week and just think of Peter Scolari and think of his beautiful wife. And remember that what do we leave on this earth as creative people? This is what we hope to leave. And this is what I believe that he did leave. He left a beautiful body of work, an amazing legacy of love. And I think that that's one thing I learned from him. So
a lot of laughter.
A lot of laughter.
A lot of laughter. I remember he and what's that other famous actor dude? And they dressed up in drag, and they brought drag back into ABC when they did Bosom Buddies, and that was like, that's Tom the first Hanks. Time that I remember. Yeah, with that dude, the one that you know him.
And they remained very, very, very good friends. They loved each other. And Jay Rivera, Peter Scolari, such a loss. He brought lots of joy to many. Yes, and you know, Jay's an amazing actor. Jay Rivera is an amazing actor. I've seen him in many things. Jackie also says brilliant actor. What a love. Well, thank you, Jeffrey, but I really meant it from the bottom of my heart. He was a beautiful, beautiful guy. He knew Susie Campanaro as well. And, you know, I'll tell you, this is what I loved about him on a whole different level as well. He was a straight guy, obviously. He was a straight guy, even though he had played, you know, those roles. But he was the kind of guy, straight guy, that made a woman feel pretty without ever being, like, creepy about it.
A gentleman.
A total gentleman.
A chivalrous gentleman.
But you wanted to be around him. And when he saw you, he always made you feel special. And that is a gift. That is a total gift. And so he treated you as he would treat anybody. And that's why I wanted to talk about him tonight. And that's why I dimmed the lights in the back, because he was only 66, probably had so many years ahead. But as I do believe God has his plan, and who are we to question him? But send a lot of love in your heart out to his wife, because she's beautiful and she deserves it. And so let's just Let's just, when you think of him, when you see him, remember that this was, as most people out there that we're all in the arts, most of us that watch the show are creative people. Remember that. What do we leave on this earth? Let's hope it's a body of work and a legacy of love. And I'm going to leave it at that. Okay. Now, our next guest is someone that is a mastermind at capturing moments. Capturing things that maybe those of us walk down the streets and see, but can only remember in our minds. But this amazing artist, friend of mine, captures them, archives them, shares them with us. Talk about leaving a body of work. And he's got a show opening this week. And I also have missed talking to him. And his life is changing in so many ways. He has a baby now and all kinds of things. And is he in the green room, Leo? Oh, my God. Richard Koek, how are you, honey?
Good. Thank you so much, Maria. Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy to see you.
I'm doing wonderful.
And, during COVID, I think we talked a few times, like in text and things like that. And you sent me a few postcards that you were working on a new project, which I feel like you're always working on a new project.
Yes.
You're just one of those guys, people that you take things that other people would just freeze and you are always creative. So I mean, during COVID, I was blown away by what you were sending. So do you want to start with that, or do you want to start with your show? What do you want to start with?
Well, I'm open. I opened a show on Center Street, but the beginning was basically my book that had been published in 2018 called New York, New York.
I love it, and I bought one for my sister for Christmas, and she loves it.
Great, thank you.
It's amazing.
Yeah, so the book is basically every New Yorker who flips through the book recognizes this is the New York that you see when you just walk on the street.
Right.
We pass by so many mundane daily things that we take for granted, but actually that can be so beautiful. And since I am an immigrant, I came to the States in 2000. I still have these eyes of wonder when I walk through New York City. For me, New York City is the embodiment for everything I grew up with on television, in the movies. The sounds, for me, New York after 20 years is still every day walking on a movie set. And if I put the right music on my headphones, then I'm like, have the soundtrack with it,
Wow.
And so I look around and see these daily things and I see how special it is. And I capture that. And a publisher published a book, and that has been just sold out. It's been sold. The first book has been sold out, and now there is a new version. And so, still New York, New York. I actually have it here. It's a little one. It's a smaller, but it's still a hardcover. It's really beautiful.
Richard, I swear to God, I love that book exactly for the reason you said. Right. It is from the point of view of a New Yorker.
Right.
So it's not just beautiful pictures, which it is, but it's as if you were walking through the streets and collecting images.
Yeah. I still do that. Yeah.
And would you say New York has changed quite a bit?
Of course it has. And that's kind of like how I managed to get the publisher to agree on publishing it was that I said, there is actually no book about how New York is on a daily basis, but also no book about now. Because you have the 70s, you have the 90s, you have the 40s, you have the pre-World War II era. So or the architecture or the dogs, but there's never like daily life, just regular life, normal working class people's lives. And that's how I got this book published. And now suddenly, when you flip through the book, every time when I see somebody flipping through the book, there is a sense of melancholy because everything is pre-COVID. Everything you see is without masks, the gatherings, the people, the festivities, the park barbecues, the parades. And so you see a sense of sadness now when people look through it like, oh, this is what I wish we could have back. Right. And so that's now the book. However, of course, the pandemic was here and I could not photograph the city when it was on lockdown. Some photographers went out, photographed the beautiful empty streets.
Yeah, I was one of them. I was one of those people.
It saddened me so much, and I tried it. I went to Park Avenue. I remember I was on my bike, empty streets, Park Avenue, and I couldn't photograph it. It's like, okay, it's just a street for me with a vantage point. And then suddenly a dog owner with 3 beautiful dogs crossed the street. And that's when I woke up. That was the only moment that I thought was interesting to photograph. There was a person and his daily life. So yeah, for me, there was like, but then the city slowly opened up last year.
Right.
And then I started to like photograph the city again. And my pictures became different. It had a different vibe. It was a little bit more darker, of course, because there were no gatherings. And it showed more the resilience of New York City at the moment. The fact how it's so amazing. The moment it rains, you see people selling umbrellas, everywhere, on every corner. It's like, I love that about New York. Like, whatever happens, we try to make it work because we need to pay the effing rent,
Right.
And that's our life. That has been my life for so many years. Like, how am I going to go to the next month? I always made it happen. And I see that in all the New Yorkers here.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you know what? I'm going to send you something because I wrote a song called Hiding in a Ghost Town. And I did take pictures because I was so frightened anyway. And I was in my car and I would just snap from my phone. But I'll send you, I use them. Leo put them in a video along with the song and I'll send it to you. But because I agree with you, it was very, very frightening. And you're right, New Yorkers are resilient. Wow. Okay, tell us about this picture. This is incredible. What is this? What's happening here?
This is on 7th Avenue. And, it's this beautiful, like, autumn light. And how many times haven't we checked ourselves out in the mirrors of a glass window? Yeah. And I managed to capture this. I have to be honest, it's also often the choice that you make of the picture that you want to show, because I took so many pictures here of people passing by, but this was the perfect shot of this man who I don't know who it is, and he passed by and he checks. It's a very New York scene because we all do that.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the smoke of this is also an image. This was during the pandemic. So I actually sent Leo images from the book, pre-pandemic, and images. This was at the height of the pandemic, actually. But, this is just a beautiful scenery.
Yeah.
This is, of course, pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
Interesting. This is the 4th of July.
Wow.
At Brooklyn Bridge Park, 2019. And I also actually shot a picture of this on the same day in Morningside Park in Harlem. And it's very interesting to see also how different neighborhoods show different sceneries. Okay, wow. This is pandemic. This is pre-pandemic. This is Chinatown. This was the only picture I managed to take of her because the next one was no photo, and that was it.
Wow. Yeah.
And this is pandemic. The moment you see a mouth protection, then okay, this is
that is fantastic. That is a fantastic picture.
This is in Brooklyn. This was a shot a month ago. Yeah.
Oh,
it was a great scene.
But that is evidence of the pandemic as well because of the, oh my God, how about this one?
Wonderful, right?
Yes.
This was at the height. This was like when and I got a phone call and she was on the line and she asked me, would you like to photograph me renewing my vows with my husband, who I've been married with for 40 years?
Wow.
And so I was the only guest together with one other person, and I managed to photograph this in an empty church. And she has this, she's still in class, Upper East Side.
I have goosebumps.
This was such a beautiful moment. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
That's incredible.
And this is one of the scenes that I explained, just these are the things before everything happened that are like, I was caught here. This is I shot it a week ago.
Really?
Yeah, 5th Avenue and 40th Street. Yeah,
Wow.
42nd. Also recently, this is in front of Macy's on Broadway. And I just passed by this and I was looking at, you see here basically the pandemic in the fact that everybody's distancing from each other.
Yes.
And everybody's trying to find this little safe place.
Right.
That before, you remember, New Yorkers, before that, it was like our safety and our safety circle was always very, very small, and it became bigger and bigger. Yeah.
Yeah. This is so, I found this post, I found this stamp today, but it was a series of stamps from a photographer, and I thought of you. So I'm going to just hold this up. It's this, this is Ellis Island.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
Louis Hine is the photographer, right? And I love his work.
So he photographed the immigrants that just arrived?
Right, from Ellis Island.
I have a book about it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's I have it. I have a book here. It's the story. It's like a story, and it has images. But I thought Richard Koek is the Louis Hine of our time, because these were not glamorous pictures and they weren't posed. They were people literally getting off boats that had been on for weeks with their families, not knowing where they were going. So it was a historic capture of time as a photographer. And you're doing that. You're doing exactly that. So it's just amazing.
Thank you. Yeah.
Amazing. Now your show, let's tell everybody about your show. So
I have to make a little, because when the pandemic hit New York City, and we all know how awful it was for many people, I have to say, personally, I've been blessed by that. I don't, that the pandemic didn't hit our family personally, but of course I was hit by having no work.
Right.
And I must say that New York City was, and the federal government, extremely generous in supporting artists during that time. So I am very grateful for that. However, there was nothing to do. And in order to basically find something to motivate myself to go out and work for myself, I created this project, Postcards from NYC. And if you go to the website, postcardsfromnyc.com, there is basically everything laid out. I make a postcard once a month. Why I actually started the idea was that everybody started to contact me around the world, how is it in New York? How is it in New York? Because there were 800 people per day dying here.
Right.
Kind of blows your mind right now, that many people per day. And people were asking, how is it there? How is it? And so I was thinking that was actually a talk about what Karen said about the positive thing of the pandemic.
Right.
One of the silver lining during the pandemic I experienced was that the humanity that we started to regain, and the care, we became more gentle towards each other. We began to ask, how are you doing? But then seriously asking, And so I noticed people are interested in how we are doing for real. And so I started this idea, I can send everybody a postcard and tell them, since you cannot come to New York, I'll send New York to you. And so I have a subscription. And thank you, Leo, for showing that on the Patreon page, that you can sign up to receive a postcard every month from me that I basically shoot that month before, and I print it out myself, and I actually write a message on it. I do write the same message to everyone because it's a lot of work. And it's actually really going well. I send out 100 postcards a month.
Wow.
And that's an example. Yeah.
Now, Richard, you said that you write a note and you sign your name?
Yeah, actually, let me see. You see?
Okay. So may I just say this, everybody, listen carefully, and I'll tell you why. Because just like this artist that I loved, can you imagine if Louis Hine had signed postcards of his work and sent it, what that would have meant.
Right.
You have the opportunity to have an artist, a living artist, sign his work and send it to you. If that's not special, I don't know what is.
Thank you so much. I always have difficulty because I have people who literally like collect them.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like Keith Haring. I love just my work to just share it and throw it in the world. And it's really wonderful because I now get postcard collectors that contact me, and they send me postcards. I got a collector who I've already received like these old beautiful cards.
Wow.
From New York, and I got all these like old because the postcards used to be a big hit 100 years ago, over 100 years ago. Photographers made money by making those old, everybody knows those old New York postcards.
Yes.
With black and white photos that were colored in and stuff like that. And so that actually made me think even more of the project, of the old postcards, how they contain the story of New York City, the history of New York City. I can give you an example that I just showed you. That's this card, for example.
Yeah.
This is 125th Street, East Side.
Unbelievable.
And actually figured out where this exactly was. It's past Park Avenue. It's close to the Metro North line. And it's amazing that if you look at the old postcards, nothing is the same. Everything has changed over a course of 120 years. Yeah. But also what I found interesting, I was looking at this card very carefully, 125th Street, Harlem. And I see on the postcard only white men standing. Right. So I'm like, what is that? How is this? Like, what's the story?
What's the story? Right, in Harlem.
Then I started to like dig into it, and of course, you had the Harlem Renaissance. I've heard of it, but I didn't realize that in the 1915, 1920s, this migration of African Americans moved up to the north to try to find a better life and to start all over again. So this was before the mass migration.
Wow.
To the north, and it was a Jewish neighborhood. Harlem was a Jewish neighborhood, and that's why the whole environment was completely different on those postcards. And those things I think are fascinating. It's in one card, this whole story in one simple card.
But someone has to capture that.
Yeah, that's true.
So thank goodness for people like you that do. Yes, Leo.
Thank you.
That's just amazing if you think of the music history, like Lerner and Lowe and all the people that were in Tin Pan Alley who were writing that style of music that would influence from Harlem at the time period. Wow.
What? Let me can I ask quickly one example?
Yes, please. Take your time.
This is Casino Theater, this crazy building on Broadway. It's gone. It's been demolished. But I see this postcard and I started to look, okay, where is this? So I went to Broadway and it's 39th Street or something. And there's nothing there. There's now just an ugly black office building. But then I look into this. Casino Theater was the first off-Broadway theater who had electricity as a Broadway
really?
Theater. Yeah.
And what year was that?
This was 1900s. They started in 1880 and it got demolished in 1930. And this theater was the first theater that showed African American musicals and operettes to a white audience. So that was the first time that black performance, African American performance, were seen as legit. Of course, in a situation that you're still performing for a white audience, but still legit, being as a legit entertainment. Yeah. Wow. So those things are like, I love it. Postcards, all postcards.
Postcards from New York. Okay, so hold off a second. We're going to do the food segment of our show, and then we're going to come back and let people know again. I do want to shout out my friend Diane Cairns Connolly. She is here watching. Mark Sittler is watching. Dominic Pupa, of course, has got to throw his 2 cents in there. Darcy Blakesley from California, she says fascinating. It is, Darcy. It is really fascinating. That's one of the reasons I love talking to Richard, because he has so many stories. Yes, Leo.
Hey, Darcy. Dodgers.
I know. The Dodgers. I know. Darcy, I was rooting for you guys so much after the Dodgers are my second favorite team. Okay, so let me just do the food section of our show, which of course is called Go Ahead.
Go ahead.
Let's do that together. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Keep
eating.
Okay. What did I make tonight? I'm going back on the keto. I'm sliding in slowly because I have, as Diane Cairns knows, I got a high school reunion coming up. 2 of them, actually, because I went to 2 different high schools. The first 2 years, one, second 2 years, another. So it's coming up next month, and I got to fit it into my pants. So what did I make tonight? I made scallops in garlic butter and some herbs. And I added crushed red peppers. So I have a little pesto, a little parsley, just tarragon, all kinds of like green herbs in there. There's this wonderful product by Trader Joe's called 21 Salute. And it has 21 different ingredients in there. And it's great if you're not someone that wants to keep a lot of spices on your shelf, but wants to have flavor. 21 Salute by Trader Joe's. I highly recommend it. That's what I used in here. A little pesto, a little garlic, beautiful butter.
I'm drooling.
Now, if this isn't the prettiest salad I've ever made, I don't know what is. I had to step it up because Richard Koek is a visual guy. I had to make the prettiest salad. This is, hi, Rena. Rena is, yes, thank you, Jay. Okay, so I have a salad of romaine lettuce, red beets, baby beets, blackberries, gorgonzola crumble, and Bermuda onions. And I'm going to put a quince pomegranate vinegar on that and an extra virgin olive oil. That is going to be, I can't wait to eat the salad. So I think this is the prettiest salad I've ever made.
Quince, huh?
Yeah. Now, of course, it's Halloween. I'm not going to eat this, but this is my favorite Halloween candy, Reese's Pieces. It is Halloween week, so I will save this for my friends, and I'll share it with my friends. That is
home.
That's right. I know. My favorite.
We just showed the kids that movie.
Phone Home, right. If you've never seen E.T., E.T. is a great movie for kids to watch, especially during Halloween, but anytime. It's such a... And Drew Barrymore, it was her film debut. She was just a little baby.
She screamed so beautifully in that movie.
She was so great. So, yes, Beets, Darcy. I love Beets. And again, Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's doesn't pay me to do this. I just love Trader Joe's. I think they're a great store. And they have this little, in the salad section, little beets. They're small. I just slice them up, and they're so good for you, by the way. Beets are loaded with iron and are very good for your immune system. Yes, I love them too, Darcy. Many people do not.
Can you believe Trader Joe's is coming to 125th Street, opposite Whole Foods. Can you believe that?
I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And it should. I think Trader Joe's should be in as many neighborhoods as possible because
I agree.
It's incredibly affordable, very affordable, and super healthy.
And very nice people who work there.
I love Whole Foods, but
yes, I know
it's
a
too
lot.
Expensive. Yeah.
And now it's owned by Jeff Bezos, so it's like, which is fine. I'm not, I'm all about people making money, and God bless them. But I love Trader Joe's. Now, Richard, please tell everybody about your show and how we can.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I know it's
me and my postcard. So I opened a show on 229 Center Street called Postcards from NYC. Basically, a collection of 20 very beautiful prints. And some of them have been postcards in the past, and it shows New York City pre and during and now, basically, and that's it. It's a wonderful showcase of my work, and I'm actually it's very hard to please myself with my own stuff because I'm such a perfectionist and critical thinker when it comes to that. I was actually very pleased with what I have done. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And it's just a show. Can people buy it?
So basically, it's showcased in Senna Space. It's actually a tattoo parlor who has a really nice gallery space.
Wow, cool.
on Center Street in Soho, Manhattan, and I have I made a catalog, a digital catalog. You can purchase the prints, but also you can, if it's a little bit above your budget, you can also subscribe to a postcard, which is way more affordable.
And remember, if you weren't listening, because you just popped on, Richard does send postcards. He will mail it to you. He will sign it and mail it to you. So you will actually receive a beautiful postcard from Richard once a month.
Actually, a nice idea that I thought about. You can actually subscribe and have the postcard sent to anybody in the world, which is I thought a really nice idea. And that is actually cheaper, because if you're planning to give it away, I will do it for cheaper. Yeah. So I will send in your name a postcard, beautiful, people that I meet on the street. And
let's see it. You have a few more of those you can show us?
Oh yeah, this one is great. This is on sometimes you come across these wonderful sceneries.
Yes. Wow, that is so great.
This was a postcard. Oh yeah, this one is great too. Look at this one. This is Little Island. Have you been to Little Island?
Not yet, but I pass it all the time because I drive the West Side Highway.
Just keep passing. It's so I was so underwhelmed by it, because it is, it doesn't have the excitement that the High Line has. But this I shot at the exit of Little Island, and this was for me so telling of the state of New York City, looking back, like the lady in black, and then the future next to it, and enjoying the city again. I thought this was such a wonderful capture of the state of mind of our city at the moment.
Because you're right, older adults tend to be a little more fearful and guarded and not as trusting as the city opening up again, whereas younger people literally have come running out of their homes and are not going back in.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know because I work in the bar business.
Yeah.
And I see that they're coming out, and they're coming out in droves. And you're right. And
with a vengeance. Yeah.
Yeah, with a vengeance. I love that one. That is an amazing.
Thank you so much.
Here. Yeah. And you to me, you're a historian, Richard, and I appreciate that you've captured New York as you have.
Thank you.
And I hope you
I love the fact that I don't want to make the pictures about what I see in them, but let me say this, the most beautiful compliment I can get is when people look at a picture and then start telling a story that has nothing to do with what I was thinking, but they create something by seeing it. They see things that I haven't seen. They point out things. And I'm like, and that's the best compliment, when people start making stories by just looking at, at a picture.
That's a perfect place to end our show. Jim Bell, our producer and engineer, has given us the signal. We have a minute left. I want to thank Jimmy. He is out in New Hampshire. We're on Armed Radio, armeddigitalmedia.com, Armed Radio Global. You can stream us on Tuesdays. Also, this will be in podcast in Spotify, Spreaker, and iHeartRadio in a few hours. And please, also YouTube. All our shows are archived at the What's the Story with Maria YouTube page, as well as our Facebook pages. We love and appreciate you. I want to thank Leo Rodriguez, who is our wonderful tech guru, our stage manager, everything in Idlewild.
Thank you, Leo.
Koek. Thank you, Karen Mack. Another shout out to the memory of Peter Scolari. Good night, everybody. Remember who you are, remember where you are, and be grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
To I am.